How's it going? Welcome to McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk.
Yeah!
2 savages talking about the world. I'm Pat McAfee. That's Mr. AJ Hawk. How's it going, AJ?
Going well. I can't wait to watch you try to hold this pose for another hour and 20 minutes.
No problem. I'm not even flexing right now. You don't even know what that means. By the way, very proud of the tan that I'm getting. I've been out at the pool. Very proud of the...
Oh,
You see the
wow.
gold chain there, and the arms are getting big. This is a tale of body shaming going right. I got body shamed by the commenters. I hit the Stairmaster. Now look at me. Now look at me. I had a cheat day yesterday, so a lot of shits today. But boy, I am having a good one over here, AJ. It's great to chat with you.
It is great to chat with you. So wait, when you're saying you were body shamed, exactly like what were people saying about you?
They're calling me fat. They said, look at that guy. He looks like a fucking fat stooge. They were like, that guy's face.
Does that bother you?
Huh?
Did it bother you?
Yeah, one guy said it looks like I ate all the cholesterol in Indiana.
Jeez.
I mean, that's a little much.
Uncalled for.
I would never say you've been. You've never been anywhere near that level of weight where you could say that.
I was 265 at one point. That is
Big body, baby.
very large, I feel like.
I mean,
Now, granted, I'm
265
still
is-
What?
Shredded.
You just love. You love how you look like with the lights and the reflections hitting you perfectly for your arms and everything. That's
If
why
we could get a
you've
little
been
bit
flexing for
more-
the last 40 minutes.
If we get a little bit more shadow on there, that'd be great. Maybe really bored. Hey, it's not easy to look like this.
Do you
Where
have
are
any
you
other
at?
poses? Is that your only pose? Or you
Yeah,
have nothing?
that one makes me look the best. I mean, I could do that one. You know, it obviously makes me look good, but my arms get very tired doing this one. This one's the natural, and you get into, because you can try to get by me, but I will trap you. You know what I mean? So that's just how it goes. Where are you at? You're in Wisconsin right now?
Yeah, I am currently sweating my life away in an upstairs bedroom in this house, and I'm not flexing. If I was trying to hold a flex like that, like you, I'd probably pass out here in about 2 minutes.
Flex it up.
Do you have asthma?
No, not at all. Lung capacity feels great.
Well, that's good. That means you don't have the...
What, elbow drop? What?
Oh, you know.
You know.
We can't say COVID anymore? Are we going to get dropped for saying COVID?
Can't do it.
Well, fucking Nick tried to take us off the air earlier today. He brought in like 7 things we're not supposed to talk about in the news thing.
Just reporting the news.
No. Was Nick talking about the judge's kids and husband or whatever?
What's your problem, man?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a little more tact than that, but
Are we still live?
Sad, terrible story.
How do all these people end up dead? How does it happen?
The upper circle.
Whoa, see,
a
now
movie.
he's trying.
Connor. Hey, we're already there, my friends. So
No,
we might
we're
as well
not.
talk about it.
Hey, it's been 51 years since the moon landing. How do you feel about it, AJ? You go USA, huh? USA.
USA. USA.
We definitely landed there, right?
I feel good about it. I do believe we landed on the moon. I have no idea where
right.
you're at in the conspiracy realm, and if you feel like it really happened or not. You probably think Stanley Kubrick filmed it for everybody, and it was filmed on Earth, right? Is that where you're going with this?
I didn't even know there was a Stanley Kubrick involved, but I do know that some people have some questions. Not me. I believe we landed there. Shout out to Armstrong and Aldrin and Buzz Aldrin and all the people that made it happen in Houston and in space. But it is very interesting that 51 years ago we were able to accomplish something that I don't think we could accomplish right now if we had to. So that is very intriguing. I think a lot of people ask that question, but not me. I don't ask that question. I'm happy that there's a flag flying up there. I'm happy that a lot of people have tweeted me and told me that 6 times we did that from 69 to 72, and then we just stopped doing it ever since then.
Too expensive.
We have an update in the judge's incident, the shooting.
Fuck me. We're going right back into it.
No, they found a man dead in the Catskills with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. They believe him to be the shooter.
It's fake. It's fake. Don't believe it. It's fake.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically
fake
straight
news.
out of Shooter.
Yeah, it's
Fake news.
Straight
They use
to
one of
steam
those
straight out of it.
machines where you put the
Yep.
arm in the thing and then everything
That
happens.
was in the Catskills, actually, too.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, hold on, Connor, go back. What is this machine where you put the arm in?
Oh,
Suicide
okay.
machine.
So the way it
in a
works
sling
is you kind of put your arm into like a sling type thing, and then they crank the sling so it goes, and then they pull the sling, and you know what happens when they pull the sling? The thumb goes, and then it goes, and then you're no longer on the earth.
Well, hold on. Can we go back? What the fuck is hanging off the side of your head right there?
Oh, the braid? The one cornrow, the first of all of them. I'm just testing out the cornrows. I figured, I'd do the left side first, and then but I do like it. I think get all of them done.
Who did that for you?
Wow.
Barber.
No, that was a lady.
Barber.
You hanging out with some ladies, Connor?
Check it out.
Whoa!
Whoa! Look, boy.
That is a pretty intimate thing, and to only do one means that the conversation stopped at that one. We'll just do one, and here we go. And I've seen people get twisted and get cornrows. That is not like a quick time. That takes a little bit there, especially if it's that tight. So is Connor hanging out with somebody of the opposite sex? That's more breaking news than anything else
No,
I've ever
believe me
seen.
not. But if you look at how my hair works, actually, it doesn't take that long because it stops about halfway down my head. So even though the regular cornrows might take a while, this one doesn't take that long.
Great.
That's-
I got to go back. Pat, I have to go back to this arm machine that Connor presented. First off, that's not a real thing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, check this out.
Connor, aren't there a lot
There it
better,
is.
easier ways? Wait, is this from Saw?
No.
Shooter. From
It
Shooter.
did look like it was out of a movie.
It is.
It did look like what a lot of things are being talked about. I think are strictly movie plots, but boy,
They come from
they
real
tell you real life's a lot crazier than any movie plot that you could think of.
It does seem to be that way. I would think if you're going to try to make it look like somebody shot themselves, there's much easier ways to do it than have this cranking machine and all of a sudden his thumb goes off and he shoots himself. And then what do you have to like untie the machine off this guy's
You're
arm?
saying-
Pointer finger, not the thumb.
You're saying that it has evolved since then, is what you're saying, which is probably accurate.
Or evolved, or just have another human stage the play thing.
angle.
You don't need contraptions, do they?
Yeah,
Well, you
need
got to
the
remember
angle.
in The Departed, you wear those things that movers have to wear on their shoes, and then you wear spandex gloves, and then you just poop, poop, and then you walk out like nothing happened. I would assume that happens as well. T's and P's to everybody that passed away, but it feels like once again anybody involved with one particular situation in our world ends up dead, and that's just completely. I'm sure there's a coincidence. Sure, it's all coincidence. We would never want to blame anything, but we will. Stay updated on that off the air. Let's talk on air about some sports stuff, though, shall we, Mr. AJ Hawk?
Let's do this.
Have you ever seen a punter this young? Steve,
Yeah, why don't you stand up? Show us how well those shorts fit too. While you're at
what are
it.
you talking about? You talking about these bad boys here? Oh, you're talking about this issue here.
I mean, I couldn't think of a more uncomfortable situation than what you have going on right now.
Well, it has to happen for the comfort thing because if I don't have the big waist, the thighs then end up getting like squeezed like sausage coming out the other side. So I have to keep up with the thighs with the waist. This has been a problem since high school. I've been wearing a 38-inch waist since like junior year of high school because of these quads, AJ. You don't know anything about that.
So that's the thing. How about you go back in the archives of this show, and I've told you 2 to 3 times on the air during this show, yes, I understand you have big quads, big rear end, so you got to buy your pants big so your quads fit. But all you do is you can tell the people wherever you buy them or take them somewhere else, get the waist taken in 2 or 3 inches, bub. Then you don't have to have that belt spilling all over. And
Oh, you're telling me American Eagle's got a tailor on call in there?
They probably do. I don't know. I don't go shopping in malls a whole lot buying my jeans, but you could find a tailor close to you. You have tons of money. You join country clubs just to go play 1 9-hole round of golf, so we understand.
It was 14 holes. Thank you very much. And I am still a member, and I just got charged again. And that was a mistake. That was a mistake. I didn't know I had to pay that much every single month, by the way. What the fuck? I've only
How
played
long
one
of a
round.
commitment? Huh? Do you know how long your contract is? Like, hopefully it's like an 8-year deal with the country.
There's an 8-year deal I potentially signed up? No, there has to
Probably
be.
10. You probably signed 10, yeah.
No. You're telling me I can't just quit that thing like right now and not have to pay another dollar?
Nah, you're probably locked in for at least a year.
Are you kidding me? No. Oh.
It's like going to a weight room. Like I used to work out at this place in middle school and high school where they would pressure high school kids when they came in. They would take them in the office and they would pressure them and get them to sign like 2 or 3 year contracts without their parents in the room so they could continue to charge their parents' credit card. And then they made it very difficult and more intimidating when you tried to cancel your membership when the poor 17-year-old girl's like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to be in college next year. I don't need a 3-year membership to this big meathead gym right here in town. And they made it very, very difficult on them. I assume that's what this golf course is doing to you.
I saw their faces light up when I said I'd never been a member anywhere before. They fucking knew.
No, he doesn't know.
This guy has no
He has
idea.
he has no clue. He can't cancel it.
Let's lock him in for a decade, too. We got this stooge locked in for a decade. We know he's never going to golf here again. He only wants this for one time. They just got a whole new fitness facility, too. Very, very nice. I'll never, ever see it because I just won't go over there. But I'm sure I'm paying for a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
Take
You
his money.
built the thing.
You're a great member. I promise you, the other members of that club that take advantage of all those great amenities, they thank you very much.
They're going to be using your name, too. Oh, Pat McAfee's a member here. You're going to love it.
Oh,
Do you have a locker? Is your name on a locker over there?
I don't know. I've never used the locker. I only played one round. I've been paying 3 months now at this point, 2 months at this point for the whole thing. Maybe I have a locker. Does that come standard? You know the country club life. Do I have a locker over there?
I don't have a locker anywhere, but I see people's nameplates on lockers when I go play at different places at times. So I assume there's a big old Pat McAfee locker. And I say, hey, look at this, Pat. You got an extra giant nameplate, too, because you're a special member that never checks your receipts, and we just continue to charge your card, and you have no idea about it.
Well, I would like to let them know I see them charging my card every single time. Okay, so although I'm not doing anything about it, I do see it happen, and I hope you guys grow good grass over there because of me. Okay, good luck. Let's talk about a golf course that was near you, very near to your house, 5 minutes away from your house this weekend. We got a new #1 golfer in the earth named Rahm, and I'll tell you what, golf is the most unforgiving sport in the history of sports. The fact that he got punished 2 strokes, okay? If he wasn't so dominant, this would be a much bigger conversation, obviously. He got charged 2 strokes for the ball moving 2 dimples. Each dimple is what? 1/40th of an inch? And they say, well, that's a 2-stroke penalty. Ball moved 2 dimples. This obviously ignited a firestorm on the internet with the people with right minds like me saying, are you kidding me? He still had to hit through the rough grass. He probably wasn't even looking down there, had no idea it even moved. You put a 4K camera with slow motion, I guess you could see that thing bobble just a little bit. And then you had the golf purists who found their shining moment yesterday on the internet saying, the rules is rules. The fucking ball moved. It didn't move. It barely budged, and it didn't help the guy. Thank God he was up 4 or 5 strokes at the time. They didn't lose. But if I'm Rahm and I end up losing because some couch snitch saw on his 4K slow-mo camera that the ball budged a dimple and a half, I'm potentially trying to find that person's house, and I'm showing up with more than a golf club. Maybe take that iron that Tiger's ex had on the back of the car. I would not be happy with that. That was ridiculous yesterday.
Well, it's so dumb. I guess Rahm handled it well. Like he even
Very
said, after he watched it, yeah, he was absolutely 100% surprised when the girl interviewing him after the round mentioned, he was like, what? I didn't see it. I have no idea. And it didn't improve his lie. That's why some of these dumb old school golf rules need to try to evolve. Like, it didn't improve his lie. He didn't even know it happened. Like, there's got to be something else we can do here. Like, I just don't get it. Some of these old school, like, let's uphold the tradition, the history of this great game. Yeah, sure it is. But there's a lot of stupid rules like this in place. Dustin Johnson, remember how many years ago he lost a major because he ground his club in something that was deemed a sand trap or a bunker on that course at Whistling Straits? I think there's over 1,000 so-called bunkers.
Fans were standing in it at one point. I think fans were standing in that one and like around him. He didn't even know it was considered a bunker. Boom, you're out. Sorry, because what the lady he was dating's ex called him in or something like that. Something happened. Like the fact that people are allowed to call in, by the way, from home. That really sets up an interesting little thing there. Sets up a real interesting thing. But I saw a lot of the golf purists like, ball moved. Hey, rules is rules. What are we without rules? It's like, have you ever golfed?
Let's change the rules. Does golf change the rules? Like at least the NFL tries, and they have this rules committee, and they think, hey, if something isn't working, let's try to change it. Does golf have that? Like, do they have a group that's trying to progress the game, like, and make it evolve and come into the 21st century?
No, they would never do that.
Why not?
It's golf.
It's a gentleman's game, right?
Well,
But it's
what about
not,
the ladies
because
then?
you got to let everybody play, not just gentlemen.
Yeah, because you don't understand the tradition of the game. Okay, AJ, you asking that question means you don't understand the amount of respect that the men and women who play that sport for a living have with the game, and you just are talking completely out of your ass as an arrogant American who doesn't understand the game. When you're asking them to potentially update some rules that are archaic and stupid, you don't understand that those archaic and stupid rules are a part of the foundation of a sport that's been around for 7,000 years. And have a little bit of respect for Scotland, will you?
Guilty as charged, Pat. You're right. Thank you for letting me know. Like, I was on the wrong path.
I would be so pissed if I'm that wrong guy. Imagine if you play that. Fans can't even tell you, right? Nobody out there is even giving him a heads up that this conversation's even happening. And let's say he only won by 1. Okay, he puts that thing in. Tip of the cap to himself. Thank you so much. Fist bump, fist bump. Jack Nicklaus comes over, who had COVID, by the way. Him and his wife had COVID. No problems, not wearing a mask either. He's like, I've already had it. Not that big of a deal. Don't really care. You guys are on my course. You did well last week. I'm gonna make it terrible this week. And then as he walks over, he goes to like, Jack Nicklaus is like, you want a handshake or a fist bump? He's like, oh, I don't care. And Jack goes, well, here's a fist bump. You came in fucking second, by the way. Get out of the way. This is for this guy. Imagine if that happens. Like, that is a monumental moment. And that shot was not an easy one. And he put it in. And nobody even talks about him chipping that thing in. All they talk about is it moving a dimple and a half because the grass gave out. And if it wasn't for that weak-ass Ohio grass, that ball probably doesn't even fall. So I think it is potentially your lawn's fault, AJ.
Hey, I tell you what, you watch any of that tournament, you see, like, if you're not in the fairway, good luck.
Oh.
Like, good luck doing anything. The rough is ridiculously thick. You could hear it on the mics, like how thick it is. But then the greens you're hitting the concrete too. Like you saw, most people struggled a lot on Sunday, especially. That's exactly what Jack wanted. Jack wants the course to be impossible. He wants the winner to shoot like +7. Like that's his dream, I guess.
Tiger did shoot that, but he made the cut, so who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? At the American Century Championship, is that rough impossible?
No, it's nothing like that. I mean, it's not easy to hit out of, but it's nothing like they had it going at the Memorial Tournament. And the greens were really fast this year, too. I putted awful, but I always putt terrible out there, so it doesn't really matter.
A little self-awareness there. You thought you were going to win, though, going in this year. And the flat
I think next year I'm going to win. I'll put it together next year and I'll win, probably.
You think I'll be invited next year?
I hope I'm invited. That's all I'm thinking about right now.
You beat 19 people. They won't. They have to invite you.
No, they don't. They do not. They can invite whoever the hell they want. And it's
Is that how they run it too? Like they're probably pissed off at me for backing out last year. That is probably something that they will potentially hold over my head.
I don't know if they're mad at you or whatever, but they tell us, like they've said, hey, there's like 80 some people in the field, and they say, hey, there's 80 some people in the field. Like we need you to respond. Like when you get an invite, we need you to respond within the next 3 or 4 weeks because there's over 300 people in consideration for this tournament. So there's people that want to play that are kind of on a wait list.
I got no chance. But
No,
I am a
you
member
do.
of the
I think
club.
if you let them know you want to play, I think you're good.
Well, I have a country club now too, so a home club. So
No big deal.
I have a locker.
Oh yeah. So it'll say like Pat McAfee playing out of
Rolling
this club.
Fields, Plumboro, Pennsylvania. That's what I'll say. I won't say this one here because I played Rolling Fields in Plumboro, Pennsylvania, probably, I don't know, 50 to 60 times. I played at this one time now at this point.
That's where your game was crafted and honed.
Yeah, Rolling Fields is where you learn how to shotgun a beer and hit the ball very far in the same, 4-second span. And that's what I'm here for. That's my golf style.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. You think the NFL is going to play this season, AJ?
I do. I think they find a way. I don't know about training camp, the 28th. I mean, they might go get tested quick, right, and come back or something. But, yeah, I don't think there's going to be a preseason game. Didn't the NFL say we want one preseason game? The PA is saying we don't want any.
So Charles Robinson, who works for Yahoo Sports, which still is a thing we've learned a couple times here.
Really?
It's really a thing.
Wow.
Yahoo Sports, Charles Robinson, by the way. I would go to charlesrobinson.com if it was a website because of how knowledgeable this son of a bitch is, but he's the senior NFL writer for Yahoo Sports. Wow. He told us a bunch about everything that is currently happening. He even told us like the 4 things that they're talking about. So number 1, they're worried about testing and economics, obviously, the rollout process. 1B is preseason going to 1 game as opposed to they originally thought 2, even though the players went 0. Then opt out. What is that plan? And then 4, how will camp be structured for the reacclimation process, which a lot of players are talking about, whether it's conditioning, testing, going back, the whole thing. But what he mentioned about preseason games is very interesting to me. Very, very interesting to me. And I am a former player. So are you. So we feel the exact same way about preseason games, as does every player who's ever played in the NFL. Preseason games are the worst things in the history of football. They are just the worst. If you're going to ask players, how many preseason games would you like to have each year? The answer would be 0 every single year. Now, we know it's a part of the NFL's business plan. Whenever you sell a season ticket, you also get preseason tickets. We know it's a chance for NFL fans and pundits to see NFL and talk about it. But in the grand scheme of things, teams are still trying to feel their way out through the entire first quarter of the season. So it's not like a preseason game and a half for your starters is really going to do anything. So players always hate preseason games, especially in this world. But he mentioned something that the NFL was talking about, which was very intriguing to me. If they only do one preseason game, that means at least half of the teams will not be able to test their protocols for fans coming into the stadiums. So if they do 2 preseason games, at least everybody could potentially have a home preseason game and test out their protocols for fans coming back in. That was something I had never thought of, because for those teams that don't host the home preseason games, and maybe their local ordinances are saying that you can have a certain percentage of fans in the stands, they don't get a chance to even test that out until game 1. It would be nice, I think, to get a trial run for them. So maybe they'll do a 7-on-7 game or something, and they'll need the boys in here to kind of take on anybody. Yes. But that was something I didn't even think of from a logistical standpoint from the NFL's point of view, because I'm always thinking about from the player's perspective.
Yeah, but don't you think these teams, if you don't have a preseason game at home to run through your protocols, don't you think they could hold an inter-squad scrimmage one night and create another preseason game almost? Like, hey, we're going to let 15,000 fans come to this game, and then you can run through everything the same way. But also, like, I don't have a whole lot of faith that there's going to be any fans in the stands once the games start. Do you?
NASCAR, man. Got to think about NASCAR. I think it's all going to be the states. And this is, I mentioned this when I was talking to Charles Robinson. Robin Harris, the Harvard Ivy League.
Harvey Weinstein?
No. Harvard plus
How
Ivy
dare you.
League equals
Are you kidding
Harvey.
me? Don't do that.
How dare I?
Legit. So the Ivy League executive director, she said that they postponed the football fall schedule of sports because of each individual campus's rules. And now the NFL is going to have to listen to each individual ordinance's rules. So I think some places, Texas might be a little bit more open or more closed, depending on the cases. Other states might be more open, more closed. I think that'll depend on how many people are in the stands in each place. But Bristol, Tennessee had, 30,000 tickets sold for their NASCAR race, and that place was packed. Iowa, over the weekend, they had a bunch of fans in the stands for their IndyCar race. I would assume it's going to be different in a lot of different places.
So, I guess so. There's not going to be one blanket rule for the NFL. It's just going to be, hey, whatever your state is, where if you're in a hot zone, if you're not, whatever your governor is saying. Some games will have no fans and some may have up to 30,000, you think?
I would assume, and maybe even more in some places, depending on the rules. But that's why each IDER, infectious disease emergency response plan, is going to be, I think, custom to each individual team. So 3 of the 32 teams have said yes to their IDER that was in place. It was the Houston Texans, the Kansas City Chiefs, third name to be announced at a later date. The other 29 have to do the same. This was the big question mark that the players had over the weekend in the hashtag We Want to Play movement. Now, granted, there was other things they had questions about, but the infectious disease emergency response plan was questions 1 through 4 for almost all players. 3 of the 32 teams have agreed to conditions and guidelines for rolling back into work, and Chiefs and Texans are 2 of them because they have to report earlier. But I assume those are all revolving around the local ordinances as well. So there's probably 32 different ones of those, if I had to guess.
So what you mentioned, there's something that what was his name? Charles Davis, is that right?
Charles Robinson.
Charles Davis just went to Fox, or just went to CBS, is that right? From Fox, the color analyst. He's really he has a lot of energy. He was with
Tom
Gus.
Brenneman?
Was he with Gus? He was with Fox, right?
Now he's going to do NFL on CBS, I think.
Good for him, by the way. Getting an NFL gig is good. He'll be good in there. I think he does well. But no, not him. It's fucking Charles Robinson.
Jeez. Okay, good. I give you, or I guess I forgive you for getting us off on that tangent. But you mentioned something about opt-out. What's the opt-out?
So the opt-out is for players that don't want to play. So There's, I guess, some players who have severe asthma who have texted amongst their teammates like, hey, I'm thinking about potentially opting out. The NBA, Adam Silver, they came out whenever they announced the bubble. They said, hey, if players don't want to come, there'll be no punishment. I would assume the NFL is going to have to do that, but that comes a lot of questions. Vesting, salary cap, does it count as a year? Does it not count as a year for the player? What happens next year? Does their contract just bump a year, or does that count as a year? I mean, there's going to be a lot that goes into that, especially if there's a lot of players that choose to opt out. I would assume if there's only a few, the NFL will figure it out. They'll be like, okay, for this guy. But if there's a pretty good list of humans that opt out, that's going to be another massive talking point that has to get figured out here in the next 8 days. But he said August 1st would be the opt-out date. So 28th reporting date for every team other than the Chiefs and Texans, because the Chiefs and Texans are playing before everybody else. And then the opt-out date would be August 1st. So players could go see what it is for a couple of days and be like, well, this isn't for me. This isn't going to be safe, and opt out. But the business conversation is going to continue through the 48-day training camp. They're not going to figure that out before training camp. Right now, it's all about the health code, guideline, protocol, get them back in the building, then we'll do the business conversation. But the opting out is going to be a massive sticking point for a lot of conversations, I think.
Yeah, it is. But how many guys do you think out of how many is there? 1,800 NFL players? There can't be that many guys that opt out.
I forget, what is the number? Maybe 1632 or something like that. Every once in a while, somebody will put out a tweet after they made a team, and they'll be like, there's only 1,632 NFL players or something. 1696. There it is.
Good year.
1,696 players. Out of how many do you think opt out? And also, out of how many opt out that people know about? Like big name players.
I would guess under 10 players opt out.
I would think probably the same thing. Or it's going to be a landslide. I think it's one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I would think other things would have to you'd have to be unhappy with everything to opt out. Don't you think? You have to be worried about
Business.
your health first. But then it has to be like money, business. Oh, okay. Like, I don't think this is taking. I don't know. You'd have to be completely. We never know either. I guess every individual has different situations going on at home. Whether your wife's pregnant, whether someone you live with has some kind of immune issues or whatever's going on. So yeah, maybe it more, but I can't see it being like just a ton of people opting out and sitting out the year.
I don't think so either. And I've told myself this numerous times. Remember, there will be a season, and it will happen. That stooge Rob Manfred was able to figure it out. The NFL will be able to figure it out.
Yes.
And the MLB and the NFL are in the same world, not because their sports are anywhere near similar, but because the NBA and the NHL had games before the quarantine happened, so they've already handled a lot of their business. The MLB, though, had no games before the quarantine, and the NFL has had no games before the quarantine. So those two, from a business standpoint, have a lot more in common than the NBA and the NHL. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the business side of things normally slows things up, and Manfred was able to figure it out. So let's assume that Roger Goodell, in his basement, peanut M&Ms will be able to figure it out as well.
Did you read the thing that they the Minnesota Vikings are doing? Like I don't know if it was Peter King, whoever, like went in and toured their whole facility with their trainer.
Fuck that guy.
What are you gonna say?
What's that?
What are you gonna say? I need to hear what you're gonna say. You're trying to interrupt me. I want to let you give your time. It's your
I was
show.
trying to figure out whether or not I wanted to go on record of saying what I was going to say, so I backed out of it. It's the first time in my life I've ever used the filter, really.
I think we all know what you were gonna say.
And some people might have heard me say it anyways.
Some people, man.
Well, I guess it was enlightening to see all the protocols in place at this. So they went around with the trainer, Sugar something, the guy's last name, whoever the main trainer in Minnesota is. Like there's a big old thing parked in the parking lot before you go in. After you gotta get swabbed every single day. You're gonna have to answer questions on your phone, all these different, like 10 questions before you're allowed in for the day. But when you're there, masks have to be worn everywhere inside. There's plexiglass separating them. The seats are all lined up. Like there's so many things in place. There's, I guess there's, and they mentioned like, hey, everybody's going to have to take part in like disinfecting rooms. And they have this crazy, like, I don't know, high-end spray that they can spray tables down that like gets into the creases and the cracks. And they said even the GM, Rick Spielman, he might be the guy disinfecting rooms at times because there's only so many tier 1 or tier 2 employees that are allowed in those rooms. So it might, like if you're the GM, you might see him in there with a spray bottle spraying down seats in the team meeting room.
All right, have to do all this, But boys, when it's one-on-ones, you fucking hit each other, okay? I want to see sweat flying, okay? I want to see spit happening. Whenever we're goal line, I need to see bodies flying on top of bodies. When we're doing 7-on-7 corners, if you're not jamming and getting your hands all over the face of the wide receiver in the body, you're not going to make this team. But as soon as that's over, listen, masks everywhere, plexiglass like your bubble boy around town. But whenever we get in goal line, need you motherfuckers to spit on each other's faces. Need it to happen. It's all very, I don't know how any of it makes sense, AJ. None of it makes sense to me. I don't know how any of it makes sense.
It doesn't make any sense, but I mean, I guess they have to try. They have to try to minimize the risk, right?
So
that's their best case scenario. Like, we're going to try. They'll say, all right, yeah, hey, these guys are going to be hitting each other and sweating on each other in practice. But we understand we have to do that to play football. Like, that's how we get ready to play football. That's how we actually play football. But everything other than that, we'll do whatever we can to try to keep them separated, to try to keep them from spreading this once they're inside the building, I guess.
I wonder if the people who are, like, giving the okay for, like, the protocols just know nothing about sports. Like,
probably, yeah.
Like the MLS is.
Why would they? If they're living in this life, this infectious disease life, for 40 years, why would they know anything about, like, the ins and outs of what goes on a football team?
And I don't want to be the guy that, sheds a light on this, but when I watch the MLS, I've said this numerous times on the show, they walk with masks on. Every one of them have masks on to the field. Then they play for 90 minutes. They have a hydration break where their bottles are, they're bumping into each other on the field. And then immediately
has that changed? Has the bottles changed? Are trainers walking out with, like, the 6-pack of Gatorade bottles still? Is that how it's
I haven't paid attention close enough. I probably should. But they have a hydration break or whatever. But it's still, they're bumping into each other. And then immediately masks go back on afterwards. And if they're testing everybody, what is I don't know. It all contradicts each other. And I feel like the people that they're presenting these guidelines to are people who have never maybe seen the sports get played, like soccer, like, oh, they'll just run around for 90 minutes. Yeah, they won't touch each other at all. Don't worry about it. So if they wear masks on, you're good. Okay, now this is the one for football. We're thinking, listen to this. Listen to what we're doing here. We're putting plexiglass between each chair. We're doing all this. And then for practice, they just play practice for a little bit, and then we get right back into it. And the person's like, oh, yeah, that should be good. They're very good. That's very good. That should be good. It just... None of it makes sense to me. Literally none of it makes sense to me. But if it's going to help us get back to sports in a safer fashion, I'm in. I am 100% in.
Do you think it would make a big difference if NFL teams were just like, yeah, we'll cover it no matter what if you guys do get sick? Because I feel like if they play, like, there's just they understand, like, hey, a lot of people are going to get COVID probably.
Yeah, and that was the big thing of it not being non-sports related injury if they get COVID. That was in the initial proposal. I think that was even a part of the 35% escrow proposal, which I hope are passed, both of those things. I would assume that the NFL Players Association will not allow the players back in if they keep with the COVID thing as a non-football related injury. We're not going to cover it. We're not going to take care of it. I assume that has to get thrown out the window. But it is a very interesting point. Like, when the guys go home away from practice and they get food or do this, and they're
not in a bubble. They're not in a bubble. Like, they could spread it to their family could give it to them, and they could spread it to the team. Like, there's so many different ways they can get it.
Well, and the test, the good news is you don't get the results for like 2-3 days. So if you fail a test, you don't know until tomorrow potentially, and you're just bouncing around today. Oh, there's a lot of questions, but hey, we're going to get back. Roger Goodell will figure it out. Rob Manfred figured it out. Roger Goodell will figure it out somehow. I have faith in my commissioner.
Hey, if you were John Rahm yesterday, would you have dapped big Jack Nicklaus up and given him a big hug right there on 18?
I would say yes, just because I don't think I would ever have a chance to do that to Jack Nicklaus, so I would just naturally say yes. But I do believe that if I see an older person, especially in the world that we're currently in, I attempt to walk very far away from them, as I don't want to be the person that potentially does something here that could jeopardize some things. So the fact that Nicholas was just bouncing around, oh, me and my wife had this thing in March. Yeah, we just kind of laid low for a month or whatever. We're good. The fact that he was just bebopping. I wish I would have heard that story, by the way. Oh. I wish I would have heard that Jack Nicklaus had it and just survived no problem, because the only thing I heard is if you're older and you get it, it wins.
Night.
See ya.
Jack Nicklaus and his wife were like, en contraire, mon young frères. Okay. I got it. I'm good. And then he asked me to wear a mask here. I want you to be able to see my mouth. Okay. This is what's going on. I don't know probably a fist bump. I probably would have done a fist bump, I guess, in the situation that we're currently in. And then I would have said, Jack, You don't give a fuck. Oh, okay. And that's probably what I would have said. That's probably the whole
Yeah, I
thing.
know Jack said Jack would have shaken before when they were interviewing him during the back nine or whatever. He's like, yeah, if whoever wins, I'll absolutely shake their hand if they want to. I understand if they don't want to shake hands, I'll give them an elbow, fist bump. And I guess Rom said it on the fist bump. He didn't know. Rom had to know that Jack had it back in March, didn't he? Because Tiger came out after and said, oh, yeah, I knew Jack and Barbara had this already. Like, he said it after his round.
I think Tiger and Jack are really tight, though, right? I don't know if Rom and Jack are tight.
No, yeah, probably not. Rom's only, 25 years old?
He looks like he's damn near 40, but that guy, if he's only 25 years old, he's going to be a problem in the golf. He didn't even play anywhere near his best golf coming down the stretch there, and he took a 2-stroke penalty for some bullshit call, and he still won by multiple strokes. Good for Rom, dude. Good for Rom.
Yeah. World #1 golfer now, right?
Only 4 players have wins in each of the past 4 seasons. Rom, JT, Dustin Johnson, and our big meathead friend, DeChambeau.
Did you see it at 10 on Friday?
Yeah, to get Tiger
He
in.
got Tiger in,
Yeah.
right?
I don't want to say I've been saying this, but I've been saying this. He does a lot of thinking. There's a lot of thinking in DeChambeau's game, which is been to his benefit. And anything that involves like free moving, like kicking and punting is one, pitching is one, I assume batting is one, golf is another one. Anytime you start overthinking things, that can almost catch you up sometimes. And I always said, DeChambeau does a lot of thinking, and it's impressive that he's able to think that much and still perform something that revolves around 1/16 of an inch being wrong. Because once you get in your head a little bit, that can, paralysis by overanalysis. We found it with that 10. Got a little over-analysis, a little paralysis. Guy couldn't hit a fucking golf shot. Gets our guy Tiger in, though, so I'm thankful for it. Meathead's back next week, I assume, and he's going to hit the ball even further with anger from that 10 that he put up and got him out of their cut.
How big do you think he gets? I know he originally put on 20 pounds, and then now he's put on 40 pounds in total, I guess, from whenever he started this weight gain. Like, you think he gets
Is he
up
looking
300
like that?
No way! No way!
So do you buy your shorts and then cut them?
No, they come cut.
You buy them at American Eagle cut like that? That's short too?
No, well, they're riding high because my quads are so big, so you got to pull them down a little bit, you see?
Ride high, boy.
You see? And then, but they come up if you really want to give a little, hey-oh.
How you doing?
How we doing? Keep it moving. Did you see LeBron's rookie card went for $1.8 million? I know you're a big collector. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, what idiot bought that?
Yeah. I went on a 4 or 5 minute rant about how stupid this person has to be. Then I started feeling bad, thinking that there's probably collectors that watch the show. And I'm like, well, I have respect for it, I guess. But are you kidding me with this? I strive to be at a point in my life where I can drop $1.8 million on what? A 4-inch piece of cardboard paper that has a picture of a guy and an autograph? I hope so bad. Congrats to the person winning this. And congrats to LeBron, who's sitting on probably 4 or 5 of these things at the house, knowing he's got another $10 million just sitting in a shoebox underneath his bedroom, or his 5th bedroom or whatever.
Well, don't you with cards, don't you always, I'm always skeptical when someone says, oh, that's a Nolan Ryan rookie card. That thing is going to be, it's worth $500,000. I'm saying, all right, I don't care what a book says. I don't care what the internet tells you. Like, until you find someone to pay you that money, that's absolutely not true. So I'm shocked that this actually went for $1.8 million. I'm just curious, could this guy turn around and sell it for $2 million? Or does he have to sit on this thing for 20 more years, wait till LeBron gets in the Hall of Fame and wins a couple more rings, and then he can make some money?
Gary V put up a tweet years ago.
Okay.
Seriously.
Oh,
Seriously,
AJ.
AJ. Jeez.
AJ.
I'm just doing that for Ty.
What was that? What was that, AJ?
Once Ty hears that, he just checks out for the rest of the show. So I'm just trying to keep Ty involved.
Oh, no, I'd love to hear your
I will
thoughts.
not sit here for this slander.
Don't be Are you trying to jab me and right hook me?
No, what I'm telling you is Gary V said, and what year was this? Can you scroll down and see what year this was posted? August 6, 2019, okay, 1 year ago. He goes, this is a big deal. Check out LeBron James 2003 to 2004 Topps Chrome rookie 111 PSA 10 available on StockX. Look back at this tweet on July 12th, 2022. We're looking back on July 20th, 2020, and all of a sudden that picture you just talked about, $1.8 million. I assume if Gary, who bought this or didn't buy this, they're sitting on it for 2 more years, this LeBron thing is going to be worth even more somehow because somebody's going to get rich, somebody's going to hit a lottery, somebody's business is going to get hot, and they're going to be a massive LeBron James fan and say, oh, I need one of his rookie cards. That'll cost $2 million. No problem. Let me shit that out real quick.
Worth it.
I mean, it would be nice, I guess, to have that kind of money where you spend 1.8 mil on a card. I would love to see how you justify that, like with your financial people or your spouse or whoever else you're around. But yeah, you must.
These people aren't justifying anything. You got to remember, Ursay used to take off in his chopper like 3 a.m. just to go to the grocery store. I don't think there's any like, I don't think there's, with the people that are spending this amount of money on stuff, I don't think there's any like checks and balances for like, hey, I'm going to do this. It's like, hey, I'm going to do this. Figure out how we do it quicker. You know what I mean? Like that is the.
You're right. Like, hey, you want to buy a LeBron rookie card, or would you like to buy a nice mid-sized private jet?
Hold on.
Let's think about that one.
What did Ursay tell me? Ursay had one of the greatest quotes of all time. Whenever he and I talked about me retiring, it was like an hour and a half conversation that was just amazing. Just one of the most insightful, hilarious conversations I've ever had. But then we got to me being like a boss, you know, because I was going to be running my own operation. And he was like, are you going to be able to make the decisions, brother? Because when you fire one person, what are you doing? You're firing their whole family. You're firing their kids. But, on the flip side, you're opening up a spot to hire somebody and hire their family. Like, so which way do you look at it? And people are optimists, people are pessimists. You're either glass half full, glass half empty type of guy. I've always said, you get a smaller cup, that thing's filled to the top, isn't it? Then we don't really have to ask the questions. It's like big decisions. I got one right now. Do I want to rent a yacht in the Caribbean, or do I want to rent a 757 and live like a sheik? I don't know. We got to make the decision by tomorrow, though, brother. I don't know. These are big decisions. Do you want to make these decisions? And I was like, yes, I would like to have to make those decisions. It was amazing. But he is a guy who's trying to restore music history, and like he views himself as like, I don't want to say like a museum, but that's why he buys a lot of this stuff is like to preserve and all that. I would assume the person that's collecting these sports cards is some museum collector who wants to see everything get handled well. But as the years go on and LeBron accomplishes more, I'd assume that price is only going to go up.
Yeah, so I guess the guy, I mean, you can't really call whoever bought it an idiot if it's going to be worth more. I guess, no, I mean, whatever. If you have $1.8 million to throw around and buy a LeBron James rookie card, cool. More power to you, I guess. Congrats. You've won. You won the hustle.
By the way, I think you pick a 757 and live like a sheik if you're Ursay. Now that I've thought about it.
I have to.
Have you ever seen
He could get both. Don't you think he could do both?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was one particular trip that was happening that weekend, and they hadn't made a decision yet what they were going to do. And he felt stressed about it, by the way. And I was trying to help him, but
Yacht in the
Does he have
Caribbean would
kids?
also be nice.
I'm assuming he's done it before. Yeah, he's got 3 daughters. They're all part of the team now.
Okay. Oh, I saw them. I think I've seen them in the tunnel. Don't they come around with him on game day?
I believe his oldest daughter, Carly, started running the day-to-day operations. Kaylin is the youngest. She does like, I think she does a lot of community stuff for the Colts. And then the middle daughter, she has a couple businesses she runs with her husband, AJ Foyt, the youngest.
AJ Foyt, the IndyCar driver?
Yeah, his son's son, though, I think. Or maybe his son. I don't know, yeah. But they're all involved. But Ursay, legend. He's somebody who, if he was into sports cards, would have bought that thing up yesterday probably for $4 million and just say, get the fuck out.
Yeah, doesn't he buy old, like guitars that John Lennon used to play and stuff like that?
Yeah, he put the entire Beatles back together, he said. He's got like a Ringo Starr drum set. He's got a guitar for McCartney and Lennon. And he's got like an entire setup. Yeah, he's spent. But he views himself, I believe, and this might be speaking out of turn, but he views himself as like a preserver of music history almost. Like he's bought a bunch of, I think he's got some of Prince's stuff.
Hendrix.
He's got Hendrix stuff.
guitar.
Like he has a bunch of stuff. So he has like a museum, I think, that he's creating that's just kind of either in his house or in a Colts facility somewhere. I've never seen him.
I get it, man. Hey, he's keeping their music alive. Why not? He loves it. Does he play those instruments too?
Oh, he can shred the guitar now.
Really?
Hey, Ursay can shred the guitar. Doesn't get enough respect for being a billionaire who can shred on a guitar.
Did he did he take over his dad's company? Is that how everything started?
I'm not 100% sure. I know that his dad sold him the Colts when he was like 30 something. So he became like the youngest owner and general manager, I think, at the same time. And he was friends with all the rock stars. So, I mean, that Jim Irsay's life, if he was to ever write a book, just from the hour and a half conversation that I had with him, if he was to ever write a book, I think that would be a bazillion times bestseller because he's linked to everybody and everything, basically.
Do a documentary on him. Follow him around for like 2 years. I would watch that. Make that a 4-part docu-series. I think that would be awesome. If he gave like complete access to his real life.
He would. I've been telling people close to him that he should be doing that stat because I think a lot of people don't know Jim Irsay. They just obviously see the headlines every couple of years that pop up that aren't always the most flattering. But if you meet him as a person, it's just like, this guy is a legend, just an absolute legend of a man. And the stories are that chopper to the grocery store at 3 a.m., they had to get a city ordinance that he couldn't take off his fucking helicopter from his backyard anymore.
I need milk, brother.
During certain hours. It was fucking awesome. It was awesome.
I just found it right here. He spent $137,000 for the Prince thing. It was originally worth $30,000, so he put another $100,000 on top, so he made sure he could get it.
Look into the Ringo Starr drum set too. I believe there's a drum set that's over $1 million he spent. It's interesting because like some of my friends are in the middle of negotiations with the Colts. You know, and they're like telling him like, we can't give you another $50,000 or whatever. And then as that's happening, news drops. Irsay just bought a $2 million drum set. And it's like, well, wait a fucking minute here.
2.2 mil.
Yeah, 2.2 million. Yeah.
It looks good.
Did he buy it from Ringo or was it from some other collector already?
I have no idea.
Doesn't matter. I mean,
he had a guy that was literally like just there to do his like. He was like a music expert or a guitar expert. And his job was to go around and legitimize things and put a price on it for Jim and all that. I don't know if he still works for him, but yeah, there was a while there where Jim was trying to collect every piece of musical history there was. And
hey, what do you think of the yesterday the coordinated effort from like some of the big stars to tweet almost the same thing at the same time about the new league year coming in there, the worries that they have heading into it?
The hashtag we want to play?
Is that what the hashtag was?
Oh, I like that you just didn't even have time to didn't even have time to look into what the message was. Yeah, so Byron Jones, corner for the Miami Dolphins now, formerly of the Cowboys, is allegedly the one that was spurring the entire mission to everybody tweet what J.J. Watt tweet basically, which is we want to play, because the players, and this is awesome, I believe the players have learned from their previous mistakes during negotiations that they always end up in the bad side of PR because it's always them saying no as opposed to their reasons saying no. So the tweets basically this entire weekend were, hey, we want to play, but we need this thing to work out from a medical health standpoint and make sense for all of us because we're all coming from different areas. I think it was a smart idea. I think it kind of piggybacked off the MLB players saying, tell us when and where we want to play. Now you got all the big stars doing it. And as of last night, 3 teams confirmed what a lot of they were asking about, which is the infectious disease emergency response plan. So I feel like we're getting, steps in the right direction, but I believe this is going to get publicly ugly for a little bit before we completely figure it out. But I like it. I don't mind it. I think it was just like what the MLB players did, tell us when and where. And that was looked at as being a genius idea. So this one I feel like is a good idea too. Let the fans know we want to play, just want to be smart about it.
When I first saw this, I was like, oh, this seems kind of like it's not organic. It seems like too many people got involved. But then the more I thought about it, the more I look at it even now, like I like it. I think it's the players are trying to take some power back. The players are trying to show like, hey, you can't just push us around and throw us in the camp when we don't agree with a lot of this. So I guess like JJ's tweet really, I guess, lays out exactly like why they don't feel that comfortable. And I guess that's good. It's good for the players to have this kind of power. That's why social media is awesome for players. We get to hear directly from them. They don't have to set up a press conference and talk to the local Channel 5 News to tell us what they need to know or want us to know.
And now on the flip side, social media gives a lot of people a chance to answer these players. And a lot of people on their side, hey, we want you to play as well and be safe, guys. We're pulling for you. We appreciate you caring, about your safety and your family. And then on the flip side, a lot of people get a chance to tell them they're a bunch of spoiled brats. You need to shut the fuck up and get back in the building and work. So
is that what people are doing?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of that. But that's what social media does.
Just shut up and play? Like, hey, we don't care. Like, we don't care about your health concerns. Just shut up and get out there?
There's a lot of that.
Pretty much, yep.
That's what the internet is, though. I mean, that's
you always get that. I understand that with professional athletes. They get paid so much money. Like, I understand to look at them like they're not human beings. I get it, but you're still wrong when you say that.
And I like the fact, like you mentioned, this is the first time the players have ever gotten out in front of something in a PR standpoint and say, this is what we are upset about, as opposed to the pundits assuming what the players are mad about and definitely getting information from the NFL about what they're offering. Now the players are getting out and saying, hey, we got a problem with this, we got a problem with this, we got a problem with this, we got a problem with this. You can see why we're potentially concerned. We want to play, but this is what we got. I think this was a smart effort by everybody. Now, Byron Jones telling the rest of the NFLPA to follow suit with what J.J. Watt did, I think was also a good idea. But J.J. Watt's tweet all by itself, because he is J.J. Watt, anything he says is going to be listened to and retweeted. I think this was a brilliant strategy from jump. And I hope it, maybe some people can see why the humans are a little bit worried and also see this is what we have to get over for there to be a season. It feels like a lot of this could potentially be settled, and hopefully it will be able to.
Well, I would imagine a lot of the issues. I lost the light. A lot of the issues going on.
You know why?
Why what?
Well, you brought up that judge earlier.
Oh yeah,
They're in your system, dude.
Kind of have a light.
Cut the power.
Don't you think a lot of it has to be the owners? Like, okay, we're going to lose all this revenue from. We're not going to get the gate. We're not going to have people in the stadium. Most likely, if we do, it'll be much lower than normal. And then my lights keep going on. You're right. I shouldn't have talked about it.
Oh
This is your fault.
They're in the house.
Oh my God! What
They're
is
in the
that
house.
behind you in the window?
Oh, yeah, and then you went after Gary V.
You're right. Gary got me. Jab, jab, left hook. He got me.
Jab, jab, jab. Free content, free content, free content.
What are you guys laughing about, dude?
Jesus.
Free content, free content, free content. Buy my shit!
Are you serious right now?
Come on, Tony.
Come on, guys. It's a hustler.
Hey, good jabs, Tony.
Thanks, man.
People like Joe Buck more than Gary Vee in the chat, though. I will say that.
Joe Buck's a weapon.
This is unbelievable.
Wait. What do you say? People like Joe Buck? What?
More than
Oh,
Gary
come
Vee.
on. Why are we doing this? Why are we turning this into a toxic fest?
Free content.
Right hook mode.
But no, aren't the owners worried about? Okay, the players are saying we need testing every day, right? Every day. What are you doing with your hand? Still don't know what that means.
Gary V's 5-time New York Times bestseller. What the fuck are you doing? Are you hating on Gary V? You guys are hating on a bestseller,
5
dude?
times, baby.
That was a Gary Vee thing. That's why you're just casually throwing it out there for me. I had no idea.
Yeah, because you guys are haters, dude. I don't like it.
5
I'm not
times.
hating on him. I would never hate it. I respect the hustle. I
Thank
really
you.
do.
Yeah.
I'm happy you do, because it sure feels like you were trying to spin quite a web over here of hate to the boys.
I'm just trying to wake Ty up a little bit, get him going.
It's not even just Ty. I mean, it is a... Gary Vee was one of the guys who I go into my office, I come back, holy shit, what happened? And I don't like it. So we just stay away from that subject. 5-time. Whoa, put your broken ass fingers up on that other side.
Ew, it's disgusting.
Okay?
What a
This
freak.
guy is a 2.5-time.
He's a freak.
what the hell?
These
dude?
three work. These 3 work well.
What about the other 2?
The claw.
Don't worry about the other 2.
Can you shut your hands?
Yeah, I can shut them.
Kind of.
Oh, my
Look at the right one. That's a serious fist on the right. I almost tucked the index finger in.
Was that from a jersey? Yeah?
I don't know. Who knows? Life.
Herb Street?
Herbie got me. You're right.
Is it? Hold on. So you don't
Finger.
remember when you dislocated your ring finger to not
Which
point
point?
the same direction as all your other fingers?
No, this ring finger. I told you they had to take a ligament out of my wrist and bolt it into my finger here. I told you my finger was sideways for like 4 months. This one.
What was it from? Was it
Like
from a
this.
jersey?
It was a jersey or a helmet. I don't know.
Did you finish the game?
Yeah, I finished the season. Yeah.
That's that Hawk difference right there.
I buddy taped it to this pinky that doesn't work, and I just buddy taped these 2, so I had 2 dead guys for the rest of the year, and then got it fixed after the season.
How come D linemen do the Vader thing?
Well, because they probably have either the ring finger or their pinkies all dislocated and messed up, so you have to buddy tape it to kind of pull them together and not leave that one exposed.
JPP.
Hey, responsibility buddies. You and me get through this game together, okay? You and me get through this game together. I never had to do that, by the way. I've shed a few tackles and blocks, but my fingers all remain the same because I'm an athlete.
Your fingers look good. That's good for you. I'm glad, but don't you think the owners are going to make the players pay for these daily testing if you want it? I don't know.
AJ, let's play a game. Let's play a game. Let's see who's more athletic. Put your hands up. Put your hands
I
up.
can't put them. My camera's not wide enough. I got to put my hands.
All
up.
right, put 2 fingers down on each hand. Ready, go. All right, boom, got it.
Oh, these. I can put these down.
You literally have that
not
claw
one.
in the game.
Claw machine.
The fucking the toy machine. The claw machine is your hand.
We're good. I got it. 2 down each. My hands are much better than a lot of people's.
I don't think so.
Booger. You ever seen Booger's fingers?
Oh, true. Defensive lineman there. That thing had a lot of grabbing and feeling in there. You're right. Hey, can I say something about Booger McFarland, by the way?
Please do.
Booger McFarland got a lot of heat on Monday Night Football, right? Both the Booger Mobile was something that was loved early.
That's not his fault, though. Booger Mobile's not his fault.
I agree.
You can say whatever you want. That's ESPN. That's not him.
Concur. He goes into the booth after Jason Witten retires and goes back to football. He gets a lot of hate because him and Tess, whatever, couldn't find it. Him as a pundit, like an analyst, opinion guy on Get Up, unbelievable.
Amazing.
I am very, I'd never seen him on those shows before, which I guess is what he did before he became a game commentator. He's unbelievable on there.
Really? What? I guess I haven't seen him. What makes him stand out?
Just good, not scared to get into it. Explains things very, I enjoy him as a pundit. And to be honest, I think I've never seen him play that role before. What was that? What just happened over there?
Can you hear anything? His mic picks up a lot.
Yeah, it picked him
we heard
up.
Was that a kid?
Yeah.
Give us the claw.
Little hop.
Coming at you! Dad's coming at you! Anyways, sorry about this, but I think Booger deserves a little bit more love because just like Jason Witten in the booth, people forgot how good Jason Witten was on the football field. I think there's a chance that people forget about Booger, how good he's very good in that morning role where I thought he was unbelievable, to be honest, the other day. But
That's good. He probably feels most comfortable in that role, don't you think? Is that where he came from? I don't know what he was doing before Monday night.
That's what everybody said, but I never watched those shows.
He was on Mike and Mike all the time.
Yeah.
He was good. He was fucking really good. I was like, okay, here's Booger shining.
Good. And I saw Golick, older Golick, is staying with ESPN at least for a while. Did he say he's going to be calling games for him?
He's getting into
games?
college football, I think. But college football, we have no idea what's going to happen with it this fall. Not going to happen. But he's going to do something with it. I thought he was going to ride off into the sunset. He had a hell of a send-off, too. But I guess
didn't. He's not going off on his own, though. It's not his decision. So I don't know why he would want to. You thought he would ride off when he's being pushed out?
You think he's being – I did not know he's being pushed out.
Yes. Well, first off, he didn't want Mike and Mike to end, but Greenberg got his own gig, got paid a ton of money, built a studio for him. So then he gets put with Trey. He and Trey are doing a show. Their contract's up. They don't get renewed. Whether Golick gets renewed to do games or not, I don't know. But he's not – this wasn't hey, I'm good. I'm going to pack it in and call it a day.
I did not know that. Until right now, I did not know that. Because the farewell was so massive on the internet, I just assumed that it was a thing. I did not know. What you just told me is brand new news to me.
I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but I know it wasn't like he's like, oh, hey, they offered me another 5-year extension. I said, no, I'm good. I'm going to go right off into the sunset. I'm happy with just doing whatever. No, that's not how it ended.
Bro, 2.5 decades of waking up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., talking for 4 hours a day. That's a hell of a commitment. I did not know that it ended. I thought it was,
Amicable.
gumdrops and you get it.
You ever ask Greeny about it? He and Greeny, it sounds like they don't get along anymore.
I know. I only talk to Greeny about whatever stupid shit I'm about to say or what happened in his life. I try to keep it all very fluffy. Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me on. You told the producers to have me on. I won't fuck it up for you. All right, let's have a good one. Cool shoes, by the way. You're wearing Louboutins for the 40th straight day. You have so much money. Let's have a good time. That's how me and Greeny operate. I did not know that about Golick. I had no idea.
And like I said, I don't want to speak for him, but
Chuck, you just did.
I know.
You just did.
I definitely did. Allegedly, that's what I have been led to believe and how this has played out for him.
You ever met Golick?
Yeah, I've met him once or twice over the years. Everyone that's ever come in contact with him loves him. So he's a great dude. He was great when I met him.
I don't think I've ever met him in person. I saw him at a blackjack table once in Arizona. He was playing at a table over here. He was winning, so I was happy for him. It was a pretty good atmosphere. And then I met his son down at Baylor before college game day. He was very nice. So I've never met him officially.
Super Bowl very briefly.
Yeah,
Super Bowl in front of the hotel.
Yeah.
Good guy. Yeah, so I have met him. He was very nice to us. I would be a miserable old man if I had to wake up for 25 years at 3 a.m. I don't know how he still does it. Good for him.
And his son is is doing radio just in the afternoon now. Is that right? Junior?
I'm not sure. I should pay attention more.
Well, did him and Fitzmagic get the show?
Him and Fitzmagic are doing the morning right now because Golick and Wingo, I believe, are on vacation. I'm not sure.
Who's Fitzmagic?
Yeah, Junior, I believe just saw was
Excuse
4
me?
to 7.
Excuse me?
Fitzmagic, the quarterback, is on radio now?
Come on.
You know who Fitzmagic is.
Jason Fitz.
Jason Fitzmagic.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler for
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Oh, so they're doing the morning show together now. They're doing Mike and Mike?
Yeah, last week they were. I don't know if that's because Golick and Wingo are maybe on vacation, but when the new lineup comes for radio, it is
The morning show is Keyshawn, Jay Williams, and Zubin. And then it
Oh,
goes.
Jay Will sent me a message this weekend and messaged him back. I did not do that. This is me going on record to somebody to remind me to message Jay Will back.
Yep, got it.
10 to
I
noon is
felt
Levitard, and then Greeny goes noon to 2, and then 2 to 4 is Kellerman, and then it's Golick Jr. 4 to 7, and then Spain and Fitz, and then Freddie and Fitzsimmons 9 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Okay, they got a full line. That's a long day.
Yeah.
It's a full radio lineup. You know,
What's
Ian
that,
Fitzsimmons?
Ty? What was? Did you hear Ty with the? What's that all about?
Well, A, it is a long day, and B, man, ESPN radio has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
What is Ty's problem?
From what? What did it used to be? What is it now? What do you mean, Ty?
I think that's a good lineup. We don't know how any of those shows are going to be. Maybe the shows are going to be great. And I would assume all of them are expecting that. But radio, I feel like, is a potential very difficult thing just to be your entire. Now, maybe ESPN's radio is different because it's on 500 stations or whatever. But it feels like radio is a tough one. And we're somebody that has a radio show every single day. Radio is. I see the exact amount of money that radio shows make. And I'll be intrigued to see how they do that. That's a stacked lineup there.
Yeah, it is. I know. I don't know why Ty thinks differently, but yeah.
Ty's negative.
Well, I wasn't making any comments about the talent that they have out there. Okay, I'm just saying that's a long fucking day on the radio. That's all
Hey,
I'm
Ty,
saying.
why is Diggs was really staring intently
I was
right
just
at Ty
interested to hear
during
what he
that?
said.
Because those are the toxic twins.
No,
Those two are the toxic twins.
Tony, you're beating the
Wait,
NASA's
do you
fake
agree
drum.
on your toxicity? Do
No,
you
they're
agree, or
both
do you butt
equally
heads?
terrible. They're both, and they just do it in
Probably the
different.
worst two in the office.
No, and there's
you
another one.
son of a
There's the
bitch.
toxic trio chiming in whenever he
That's
fucking
so-
can. I mean,
come
it's
on.
unbelievable. I'm friends with a lot of those people that are doing that radio lineup, and I think they are going to be good. But radio is a tough avenue right now in the world that we're currently in. That is a tough avenue.
I agree.
Jesus Christ.
I agree with you.
This place is despicable.
You think Max Coleman now, he has his own radio show, 10 to 2, is that what you said, or 2 to 4?
No, they moved Levitard to 10 to noon, and then Greeny
Yeah,
is...
they cut an hour. Levitard had to give an hour back because of Greeny.
Do you think he wanted to, or do you think they forced him to?
I don't think he wanted to. Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
Levitard's 10 to noon, and then Greeny's noon to 2, and then Kellerman's 2 to 4.
Greeny's going fucking long haul. That's a long day for Greeny.
It is, yeah. And it's his radio show is just him, right? Just him. Nobody. He has no co-host.
Seems like it.
Wow.
He's a pro. Hey, he's a pro. He did it for 25 years at 2 a.m. So he built something out of nothing with Mike and Mike. So he's gonna continue that and grow his own show. I guess.
Him walking into that pre-production meeting, 6 a.m., he's got a little breakfast meal that shows up there, and his Louboutins walking in there. It is incredible to watch him work. I mean, it is. It's next. Because the producers for Get Up, they had a pre-production meeting, right, to potentially go over what could potentially be in the show. Then an hour later, the talent is also there, including Greeny. And you watch the pre-producers. Now, they are a very talented group, obviously. But if Greeny does not agree with the way something should go, watching him kind of maneuver that ship through like, oh, yeah, that I understand what you're saying is very important, but I think boom, 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 and then bang, 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 boom, 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 boom. And it's like, all right, everybody's got to catch up here. This is Greeny working. And that show, the Get Up show, has gone like this. Now he's adding an extra 2 hours of him just, is he going to do it from the Get Up set, you think? Is he going to stay there?
Maybe his house.
Does
Maybe.
he do it from his house?
Is there like a radio studio there outside of the?
There is. That's where Jalen and Jacoby do.
Oh, okay.
They do their show from that area over there. It's a real nice setup. Real nice.
Where has he been doing the show recently?
He's doing at his house. He does Sports Center at night, where
Oh, then
his
yeah, he probably has something
his
right.
bride posts photos of him working. By the way, Greeny never stops working, is what I've learned. If you follow along with his wife. She just posts photos of him at all times, just on his phone, typing something. And their dog Phoebe is one of the cutest dogs of all time. But there's a reason Greeny is who he is. I would assume they're going to set up a studio probably at his house and wherever the hell he wants. Radio's not that hard, right? You just need one of those little box things that plugs in.
Pretty much, yeah.
We can't.
But is this show being simulcast on ESPN Plus or on ESPNU or whatever?
I have no idea. I have no clue.
That's the only time I know of any ESPN radio shows is because it's on TV. Like I've never like tuned it up in my dial in my car like it's 1985.
Oh no!
What?
Oh no!
Oh, what?
What is it?
There has. Oh no! Oh no! Somebody's already tweeted about your guys' toxicity towards Gary Vee, and I will not stand. I do not even like the opinions of that person, and everybody else in here do not reflect that of the man's YouTube channel that we are currently on.
Me? Well, I didn't say anything about Gary Vee. I just brought his name up.
You started it.
You stirred the pot, AJ.
I said his name and I mentioned something about his 5-time New York Times bestsellers on the market. Like,
Hold it up.
how was that slander?
Hold up the fives, baby.
Five's up.
Fives up.
Fives up.
Look at that pinky. It's 4.5 there, bro.
That hand's good. No, this hand's a little worse.
Hey, before we get into any other super important sports talk that we've been doing here for the last hour or so,
We had a lot of great sports talk. You're right.
What are you laughing at?
you know, people can listen to it right now. And if they aren't listening to them with their Raycon E25 earbuds, they're doing it wrong. It'll sound better with your friends at Raycon. And by the way, Raycon, half the price of the other premium wireless earbuds. And they have the same boom booms, the same quality, the same Bluetooth pairing seamlessly, the same everything, half the price. That's what you like to call a win-win-win, all W's 5 times like Gary Vee.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Raycon offers wireless earbuds in a range of fun colors and patterns. They're super comfortable and come with a variety of fit options. The compact carrying case that everybody will have once you order the Raycon E25 earbuds, it can charge your earbuds 4 times in a single charge. Unlike some of your other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet with no stupid-ass dangling wires or stems. Great for video chats, podcasting, and anything else you could potentially need to listen to something in a very high-quality fashion.
Yep.
Ain't that right?
Yep.
Raycon earbuds start about half the price of other premium wireless earbuds on the market, and they sound just as amazing as the other top audio brands. Raycons are great for working from home, working out, listening to music, podcasts, whatever you could potentially need to listen to something. The Raycon Everyday E25 earbuds are the best model for it. 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating fit. So let's take 2 stats from this ad read and put them together. The carrying case can charge it 4 times in one day. And the Raycons can last you 6 hours each time they're charged. You do the math. That's 24 hours of playtime with one charge of the Raycon charging case. That's better than anything else you're going to get anywhere near time.
Wow. It's incredible.
New fun colors and the noise isolating fit is a real thing. You go to buyraycon.com/sports talk and you'll get 15% off your order. So it's already half the price of the other premium. You'll get an extra 15% off when you go to buyraycon.com/sports talk. That's buyraycon.com/sports talk for 15% off your order. See why Snoop D-Double-G, Cardi B, Melissa Etheridge, Brandy, and our friend Swish J.R. Smith, LA Laker, are obsessed with Raycons. You will as well. Buyraycon.com/sports talk. Is that the show?
I don't know. It might be. You still feel jacked? You still feel as jacked as you did at the beginning of this show?
Hey, cool glasses.
You tell me, AJ.
Yo! Welcome to the jungle.
Hey, how
I mean, I am
I'm just
a monster
curious.
right now. I have
Hey,
not
the boys
seen
may
you
be
with
able
this
to
lighting.
answer me, but how quickly did you see yourself on the monitor when you walked in this morning and start flexing because you felt good about the lighting and how you were looking?
To be honest, not until we started this show have I noticed how good the lighting is here. Probably gonna have to set up a little bit of an IG shoot, maybe.
Nice.
Just so people
Good idea.
know. AJ, do you know if people were to watch this show, they were like, 2 middle linebackers talking about sports.
No, I would be the punter. You'd be the middle linebacker.
No,
Probably what they
that
think.
jawline, everybody knows he's not a punter.
You should do that LeBron photo from this weekend.
Oh, where he was sitting there like this or whatever. I wish I had abs though. That's the only problem is I still got a little bit of a gut. You see. A little bit of a gut. I'm not pregnant like Russell Wilson's wife, right? Which we learned about via tweet.
Congrats.
But
Sucks.
Oh, you didn't know? You didn't know she was pregnant?
No, the video was awesome when he put it out.
Wow.
Tony.
Definitely tuck that in.
well, that's why I got to do this number here. You know what I mean? Because that just looks like a.
No, it looks really cool.
Bro, I don't shop at places that have fucking tailors on deck. Okay, I'm a Rust Belt kind of guy. Okay,
I
AJ?
haven't bought a pair of pants not on the internet in 10 years. Like I haven't gone and tried stuff on. I buy it, they send it to me, I try it on. It's usually too tight. I send it back, and I keep doing that process.
And then you waltz into Von Mar where they're like, Aaron, please come this way. We'll do this whole thing. Aaron, Mr. Aaron.
Does Von Mar sell? Like, what kind of clothing does Von Mar have? I used to drive by one all the time.
To be honest, Von Mar sounded like the smartest, most sophisticated name that I could.
You did a good job.
Was that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never even heard of it, so I assume it's super exclusive.
Never.
Classic department store, baby.
Bro, you should have seen Aaron and Mike Hawk at Saks and Fifth. Next level.
You ever go to I've been to a Saks a couple times. You're like, oh, let me check out. I remember checking out dress shoes. Oh, these are cool. I could wear them with like a suit or something. And I'm like, hey, can I try these on at 12? And they're like, yeah. I said, hey, by the way, how much are they? Oh, these are on sale for $1,100. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna be going to DSW warehouse. I promise you, I'm not paying $1,100 for a pair of dress shoes that are uncomfortable already.
They're big on the hey, let's scuff the shit out of shoes so they're not clean anymore and sell them for thousands of dollars thing. They're big on those. The Chuck Taylor leather ones that they just dump into a muddy river and then they sell them for triple the price. It's like, what's going on? That's fashion, baby. Hey, that's fashion, baby. I'm just not up to date. By the way,
It is.
Kanye West had a rally this weekend. I heard
He got my vote, man, for sure. I only saw a few clips, but from the clips of what I saw, he seems like he garnered a lot of votes from the American people.
Listen, I don't want to laugh in the face of anybody.
No.
Okay, and I am a Kanye fan.
College dropout.
I mean, his old music much better than his modern music, but Kanye, I respect his creative brain and stuff like that. But it feels like we're potentially in the middle of either a massive PR run here or a potential mental breakdown that should be taken a lot more serious than it currently is. So I don't know which one it is. Either or, the birthday party will be on a ticket in some states for presidential election.
Yeah, man, what a weird range of emotions he had throughout that. Was it a rally? Was that what you would call it, a rally?
Well, it's kind of like his church service, right? His Sunday church services are
Which
kind
I
of
loved. I used to watch those on YouTube with my kids and watch how like they're getting into it. It was fun.
10-4. Agree. So it seemed like it had that setting, but then he also had a vest, either a weighted vest for workouts or a bulletproof vest on while speaking about, I don't know. 2020, wild place. We'll be here to cover it yet again tomorrow with another McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. AJ, any closing thoughts for the people who maybe want to hear a little motivation from their favorite Super Bowl champion, Mike Linebacker?
I don't think I have any motivation for you today, Pat. I think your arms and shoulder capsules do enough to motivate everybody that tunes in and watches the show. And I would encourage anybody that is listening to just the audio whenever this comes out on a podcast, go back and watch the video if you want to see what a real man looks like, and it's Pat McAfee today.
I do feel really good about how I look.
Hell yeah.
It's been a lot of discipline here. I normally don't have this.
A lot of steps, too.
A lot of steps.
That Stairmaster, bro, is no joke. It is the truth.
You might have walked to the moon by the amount of times that you've been on that.
At least to the space station. To get to the moon, I'm going to have to go,
lot farther.
1,000x that I've already gone, and that's only something you could do 51 years ago. Can't do it now.
Or you set up a camera.
That's it.
We went to the
That's
goddamn moon, okay? Can we stop this, please, for Christ's sake?
That's the show.
The greatest sports talk show on the internet from 1 to 2 Eastern Standard Time. So come on down for a mental vacation with the boys on YouTube Live. It's McAfee and Hawk. It's McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. AJ used to tackle quarterbacks and he's a Rust Belt kind of guy. That's the punter of the decade for the 2010s, kicking Pierce missiles to the sky. It's McAfee and Hawk. It's McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. It's McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk.